What's going on, everybody? It's August 2nd. It's a Monday. The Big 12 is a mess. The Steelers are a week away from the Hall of Fame game, and you're watching H&J Talk Sports, your number one favorite sports podcast. Harry, what's going on?
Not much. It's a good day. Got some exciting stuff happening.
You didn't say your catchphrase that you say every show. Do you know what that is?
Another Monday?
Another Monday. There it is. It's another Monday. That's Harry. I'm Joe. This is H&J Talk Sports. We got a lot going on today.
This is not another Monday. This is a special Monday.
It's a special Monday. Harry, why is it a special Monday?
I got two reasons. One, we finally hit 100 subscribers. So thanks, everybody. We're very excited.
100 subscribers by football season, and we're a month early. Holy crap. Thank you, guys.
The views are going up. All the videos are looking good.
Looking good.
We're excited. The second reason is football starts.
Football starts a month away from kickoff and a week away from preseason.
Right.
Holy crap. Less than a week, 4 days away from preseason.
Yeah, Thursday.
It's exciting. So, man, before we get into anything, 100 subscribers by football season was our goal, and we hit it a month early. We still have a month to spare. You guys rock. If you subscribe, thank you. If you haven't, what is going on? Like we tell you every week, subscribe. Jesus.
Yeah, it's only going to get better. It's only
H&J Talk Sports.
Yep, grow faster.
Let's grow fast. Let's get it up. How many? There you go. How many can we get by football season? That's what I want to know. We've got a month to go. Keep subscribing if you haven't. Keep watching and liking the videos. Hit the notification bell. But let's get into it. Harry, before we get into the mess that is the Big 12, because, boy, there's been a lot going on this week, I just want to talk about real football. So let's talk about Steelers.
All right.
Training camp has started. Boy, do we got some stories emerging already from training camp. The first one, Najee Harris is, so far, he's everything he's been advertised as and more. Not only is he a delight in every interview, boy, is he doing some stuff on the field.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we had heard. We'd heard, I think it was Big Ben had made a comment that you can't get him out of the building. I saw some, what was it? It was a picture of him doing some crazy one-handed catch, saying this guy's a running back. It's exciting. I mean, the guy can do it all.
One-handed catch in the video of him running up the side, and it took 5 Steelers to drag him down. Like, oh my God. It's so everything I hear about him is exciting. Every interview you get excited. You just feel like this is a superstar in the making. And, you always worry. I mean, he was a first-round pick, and he was advertised, but you never know what you're going to get. But so far, so good. I'm liking everything I've seen there. But on the negative side, early reports from training camp, the line is struggling.
We knew that.
Massively.
That takes time.
It does take time. I mean,
training camp just started, and you're putting 5 new guys together.
So. Yeah. It's a lot of chemistry. People learning new assignments. You got a lot of rookies, and you're going against a defensive line in practice that has been together for a long time, and a good defensive line, the front. So it's going to take time. I did see someone says, though, it hasn't bothered Najee Harris. Apparently, even when the line struggled, he's making his own holes.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's good, but yeah, I think if history has told us anything, is you got to have a line, because no matter how good you are, if you have no line, those guys are going to be in the backfield.
You do, and it's going to take time, though. I mean, hopefully they can get some experience in training camp, but it's one of those things. Week 1, they're not going to be. But everyone be patient with them. I think they'll get better. I think they're good. They're good players. It's going to take a little bit. Another big development in training camp. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, and you didn't think we'd see anything in training camp. You thought we'd have to wait for preseason or some actual games, but Haskins has already taken over the QB2 role in practice.
Good. Hopefully he keeps playing above my expectations.
Yeah. But, I mean, so far in practice, he's looked really good. Apparently, from reports and videos and everything everyone said, he's been by far the best of the backup QBs. And Mason Rudolph has underperformed him and Josh Dobbs. Mason Rudolph had a tough day. I was watching practice, the videos the other day and reading reports. and he got picked a lot. He was making a lot of bad decisions, and everyone has said Haskins has been by far the best of the backup QBs. And in practice the other day, he was moved up to QB2 reps. So
good. We'll see a lot of them in the preseason.
What could make Mason Rudolph expendable? Because I still think Ben likes Dobbs, and I think they'd prefer Dobbs in a third QB role than they would Rudolph.
Yeah, let's see. A lot of teams don't like to keep a third QB around just because they'd rather have somebody that can play, on special teams and be backup. So we'll see. I mean, if Haskins is clearly dominating in the preseason, I wouldn't be surprised.
So far, it'd be interesting to see what we see in these games coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Rudolph. He's been a starter. You saw what he had, and we know it's not what we need. We need something better. So,
and people had really high hopes. I've seen a lot of people saying he's the next QB after Ben goes for some reason. He's got a fan club.
He had potential. He was good in college.
He had potential, but I remember someone put a Twitter quote from Tomlin. I forgot about the season when he took over, when they put Duck in, and Tomlin was asked about putting Duck Hodges, and Tomlin said, well, he hasn't killed us. So Mason's already, I mean, his resume professionally doesn't look good so far.
Yeah.
So with that and getting shown out in practice, maybe the end of him in black and gold pretty soon. We'll see.
Be an interesting preseason, something to look out for.
Well, that QB2 battle. Another really positive from our draft picks, Pat Freiermuth, tight end, has been shocking a lot of people with how good he's been in training camp. Ebron, I guess, has got hurt the other day, so he's been out. So Pat Freiermuth has been taking a lot of the heavy TE load. People have been saying, man, he looks good. He's been blocking. He's been making some catches. So a good second-round pick.
I think that's the important thing for him if he wants to get on the field is he has to block.
He has to block. You're going to need it with the line.
He's a great receiving tight end. He's not, he's not anything to talk about when it comes to blocking. So this guy, I think he could get on the field a lot more if he's blocking.
My screen went off again.
Yeah, it's okay. Technical error.
Yeah, I figured this out eventually. But yeah, he's having a big camp. And one more person I want to mention, actually two more people. Cornerback, we've talked about a lot as being a position of weakness. So far in camp, a lot of people, the word on camp is James Pierre, corner, has been dominating. He's had a lot of picks, and he's just been a monster on the field. So that's a good sign.
It's really good. Hopefully he steps up and keeps playing.
Yeah,
that's how the Steelers have done for a long time. Is they've plucked these guys out of nowhere and make them serviceable. So hopefully this guy can keep it up, and maybe become a star. Yeah. You never know.
So far, so good. I'd still like to see some depth. So again, if
the weak spots, he'll get his chances.
Yeah, I mean, you may have to move someone and get some depth, but so far, so good. Another big one, Deontay Johnson, has looked really good so far. Could he be merging as the true number one receiver? He has had some drops as of the last few practices, which is kind of his down, but people have been liking what they're seeing from him in training camp.
Yeah, that was kind of a red flag, kind of the second half of last year. They need to work on it. I mean, he's improved. Hopefully continues to get better. Watch the drops. Yeah. That could be a killer, But
of all the wide receivers, and we have a lot of them, he's the one I think that's been impressing people the most. You've heard more about him than Juju or Chase or anyone. So he's doing something.
He's got, there's competition out there to play between Juju, Claypool, and Johnson.
Yeah.
You haven't earned anything yet. You gotta get there. You gotta work. It's just starting.
It's exciting, though, and we're going to get to see some of these guys sooner than later because, Harry, the Hall of Fame game is Thursday at 8 o'clock on Fox. This is not an advertisement for Fox. We have no affiliation with them unless they want to.
But, right. Steelers,
Cowboys. What's more exciting than that? And it is a preseason game, so you don't expect to see any of the big names. But being a Hall of Fame game, does it have a little more meaning? No one wants to lose the Hall of Fame game.
There's a little more just because it's the first football game, after summer and after the off season. A lot more people will tune in than, any other preseason game.
Yeah.
Plus, it's Steelers and Cowboys, two bigger franchises. Hard Knocks is with the Cowboys this year, so you'll have that show as they prepare for the Steelers when that comes out.
Yeah.
Probably next week.
Everyone wants to win. No one wants to be the loser of the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah,
get your guys in there.
It does to me. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I just want to see.
At the end of the day, it's a preseason game.
Yeah, I've never cared about your preseason record.
No,
makes zero difference.
In fact, I think the last time we won the Super Bowl, we went 0-4 in preseason that year, and I thought it was going to be a really bad year. So it doesn't matter.
Other than I want to see the rookies. Other than Harris, I don't want to see Harris out there too much.
No.
Nah, running back stuff.
Protect him.
Taking those hits. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get out there, and it's good to see him out there. But God forbid
he might get a couple reps in early. I'm sure they'll want to get a look.
I'm sure they'll play him. I'm sure he will get a decent amount. But I want to see these other guys.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exciting. It's here, guys. Preseason's here, a few weeks of that, and like I said, a month away. I think the first football game is September 9th.
Yep,
September off the top 9th. Of my head. Okay. Let us know what you guys think about that. We'll keep an eye on training camp. We'll have a lot to talk about after this preseason game. I'm sure we'll see Mason and Dwayne Haskins in there probably. So that'll probably be the story from next week.
Yep, we'll start the drama.
That's right.
Start the drama.
All right, we're going to have to talk about this. Big 12, it's a mess. Do we have more clarity or less clarity than our show last week? I don't know. The Texas-Oklahoma move is officially official. They've been voted in. It's happening.
Yeah.
When their contract's up, they're out. The whole thing's a mess. The Big 12 has released a statement to ESPN talking about how they meddled. It's all ESPN's doing. Apparently, ESPN, who's owned by Disney, has some stake in the SEC. And this is all them. So the Big 12 has kind of put out a letter saying, whoa, they've meddled in this. They've crossed the line. They're not supposed to do this. They've been talking to teams. The whole thing's a mess, Harry.
Yeah, it's all a mess. I don't know, big issue. The Big 12 will cease to exist eventually.
It will. And they're trying. I mean, there might be a legal battle. I think the Big 12 will lose, but it doesn't look like this is going to be like a quiet exit. There's going to be some stuff that goes down.
Well, they've said they're going to make it as difficult as possible to get Texas and Oklahoma out, which would be the latest would be 2025 when the media rights are out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Texas and Oklahoma are going to try to get out earlier. I think the soonest that would happen would be 2022, but there's going to be a bunch of legal hurdles, and we'll see. I mean, and who knows?
The other thing to think about is now that even if they're out by 2025, these other teams have got to start making moves. So if you're losing other teams, other conferences, it's worse for the Big 12, and that's going to hurt your fight, and it might not last as long.
I heard some of these. One group of 5 conference was trying to take the rest. I think it was the AAC was trying to take the rest of the Big 12 teams.
Yeah,
create like a super conference without it.
I mean, we're going to the 4 super conferences. We might as well get it over with.
Anybody that's left in the Big 12, as soon as they get an offer from a big conference, they're going to leave.
Well, the offers are going to be out there now with this going on.
If they get an ACC bid, Iowa State and Iowa State and one of the Kansas teams.
Yeah.
If they get Big 10 offers, they'll leave. Pac-12 to anybody will leave. You have to. It's a sinking ship. You'd be crazy to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, your path will be easier for the next couple of years, but then you're going to be, SOL.
Well, that's the thing. Even if the Big 12 somehow survives and decides to realign or create it or readjust the conference, as the team's there now, you can't wait on that. You have to do something because you don't know.
It won't be good. The Big East did that.
Yeah.
The Big East, when Virginia Tech and Miami and Pitt left, they picked up some teams. They picked up Louisville and Cincinnati. And what happened? West Virginia left. These people are going to leave the Big 12. Oklahoma State for sure. I guarantee they're going to leave when they get a chance. Everybody knows. Baylor and TCU, they're going to leave when they get a chance.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Especially Baylor. Baylor's, I mean, they're kind of an off year in football, but a year ago they were one of the better teams in the conference. They have a great basketball program. They
just won the national championship in basketball.
They're out. There's no way Baylor's sitting in the Big 12 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sinking ship. Anybody gets an offer, they're gone. No one's gonna be loyal anymore.
Which, on the West Virginia front, director of athletics at WVU, Shane Lyons, released a statement. Now, he didn't say it in the statement, But this statement to me was a thinly veiled resume to the ACC. In his statement, he talked about what's going on. He talked about how West Virginia has positioned themselves to be one of the power schools, how they've increased their athletic facilities, their academic programs, which to me is basically he was addressing all the knocks against them the last time they left and didn't get into the ACC. So he was going down the list and checking the boxes. And then he threw a little backhanded comment towards Texas and Oklahoma at the end of the letter. But
there's talks going on for sure. I mean, we just signed another recruit. And I gotta believe that these coaches know some stuff. At least it might not be for sure, but they feel like there's a good chance they're getting in.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you've heard this, but our new 4-star quarterback recruit, Nico Marchiol, who we've talked about a lot and is the talk of the town in West Virginia, he went on a podcast this previous week. And I haven't listened to the whole podcast. I started it, but I didn't hear this part. So I've only saw people talking about it. But at some point in the podcast, he kind of let it slip that he may know something about West Virginia already moving on or having something in place. So if he knows that, the coaches know.
My guess would be is there's talks going on. It's something that takes a long time. They're reviewing, and probably more likely than not, they feel like it's going to happen.
Well, with Nico Marchiol, again, he's not even at West Virginia yet. He's a recruit. He's a quarterback, and apparently he knows something. And obviously, like you said, we had another 4-star recruit this week. It seems like if something's not in writing yet, the wheels are in motion and it's getting close.
Oh, I'm sure as word got out about Texas and Oklahoma, they immediately went to the ACC. We've been through this once. They know you got to get going.
And I think we have a better athletic director this time. I think we're much better positioned for this move than we were back when the Big East collapsed. So a lot of people have been shitting on West Virginia. A lot of people in the comments, which is fine. Say what you want to say, but we're better positioned than we were before. And I think the ACC is scared.
From what I've seen a lot of the comments and stuff from a lot of ACC fans. I feel like out of the teams that are out there, I think they want West Virginia to come in.
Most of them do. I've seen a few, especially Clemson fans that don't. Maybe some bowl hangover there.
I've seen a lot of Clemson fans that do too.
Have you? Well, it might be 50-50. I've seen some that don't care, some that have been for it. I've seen a few that are adamantly against it for some reason.
The thing is, with the exception of Notre Dame, I mean, what other school? There's no school big enough to be worth it.
Yeah.
So why not get a team that, has history with a lot of the teams that are in there and that geographically fits with your conference?
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, a lot of people are pointing out, okay, you're not up to this standard. The market, you've talked about it. The market's obviously small. It's a smaller market than some of these teams. Yeah. But from a simply sports and athletic standpoint, from football and basketball, we're positioned better than a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
And this is one of the biggest recruiting. This is turning out to be one of the biggest recruiting classes next year in West Virginia's history.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of pressure on these other conferences to make moves.
Yeah.
Because I think the ACC, what I read was their rights go to like 2032 or 2031, something like that. They have the longest remaining time on their rights.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be a conference that just sits there and does nothing while the Pac-12 might grow. The SEC is already at 16 teams. The Big Ten might make some teams. Here, the ACC, the word is they're going to try to get Notre Dame, hopefully West Virginia, have their 16 teams.
Yeah. So if West Virginia goes, 2025, again, when the rights end, I don't think it lasts that long. I think by 22, 23, we see 4 super conferences. That's what it's going to. And that's the playoff format they've been pushing for the past few years. They want to expand it. It seems like that's the way it's going.
Yeah, they want to expand. I mean, that's why these teams are willing to go to these conferences, because you're going to be able to take a couple more losses and still get in the top 12.
Which is exciting, especially for West Virginia, who's always right on the door. So
yeah, I wanted an 18 playoff. I didn't like bigger than 8. Being that
it's more exciting that way. I mean, as fun as bowl games are, college playoffs have always kind of lacked. I mean, in basketball, you got March Madness, which is always super exciting. It would be much more exciting to see that in football.
12 seems like a lot, because I still want the regular season games to have value. And the more teams you put in the playoff, the less value you have to those games, especially when you come the end of the season. If a team takes a loss, they're still in the playoffs. Whereas there's 8 teams, there's less of a chance.
Yeah. That would be a good format, I think. They should do that.
4 conference champions and 4 at large, but 12 is the word. 12 is what it's going to be. So these teams will go in there. You'll probably have a 3-loss team from the SEC getting in there.
Good for us. We'll see. It's exciting. And more exciting stuff. Like you said, the recruits still seem to be coming. So if the coaches know something, but West Virginia lands another huge 4-star wide receiver, Kevin Thomas. A big commitment. This class is looking good. We're already ranked as, I think, top 25 in commitments before this. This is huge for West Virginia. And another win for Neil Brown. Now we got our 4-star QB. We got our 4-star wide receiver. Cornerback. We got some big linemen coming. What's next?
Do you know? I saw something interesting in here that I did not come to my attention. Do you know what the most 4-stars WVU had prior to this?
No.
It was 2013, I believe, 2012. I can't remember. I was watching something.
That was Geno Smith, right?
They had like 8 4-stars.
8 4-stars?
Something like that, I think. Yeah, 2013 class. They had 8 4-stars.
And what are we up to now?
They're getting there.
So the 2013, that's the Geno Smith era, right?
No, that was after.
That was after Geno Smith?
They had Shelton Gibson, Darian Howard, Markeon Lane, Al-Rashid Benton, Malik Greaves, Mario Alford, Dreamius Smith, and Hadari Christian.
Well, so much for that class because I don't recall any of those people.
I do. I remember Dreamius Smith, Mario Alford, Al-Rashid Benton, Shelton Gibson. Some of those other guys, I don't think they did well. But I guess some of those were JC guys. So that's a decent class. But Holgerson, man.
More to come. I mean, he's big so far. Nico Marc will be in the big one. He's a very highly ranked quarterback, and a lot of big teams wanted him. Same with Jacoby Spells, man. He had some big offers out there. He turned down Georgia. So it's looking good, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Just want to get this conference stuff figured out, and then I'll feel a little better.
It's going to get messy. I don't think we're going to have any clear. I think there's going to be legal battles. I don't know what's going to happen, but.
Well, even if I would like us to have an invitation.
Yeah.
Agree to whether we have to stay till 2025 or not. I wouldn't care, but at least have something lined up.
Well, yeah, the Big 12's got some mess, but hopefully from a West Virginia standpoint, we get something cleared up soon in the next few weeks or months or by the end of this season. You'd like to see something. Before we get off of West Virginia, one more thing. Miles McBride selected 36 overall in the NBA draft by Oklahoma City Thunder. That's cool for him. What sucks is, boy, they lost almost all their players.
Yeah, basketball team's going to be hurting.
That was the big, it's been a couple months. We talked about, you said the one redemption from losing in March Madness was everyone's coming back. And now no one's coming back. So whether it's transfer portal or getting drafted, it's a new team.
It's the bad part about basketball.
Yeah.
Some of these guys went to the NFL. Some people tried. Didn't make it, but I'm happy for him. He was great.
Yeah. It's good for him.
He was a great player.
And it's good for West Virginia. That's a pretty high draft pick in the women's basketball. They got the 4th overall. So that's a good look on the resume for the ACC.
Derek Culver, he was all Big 12 first team. He didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
He could have come back. I wish he would have. He probably wished, but he's probably going to end up in Europe or something now.
Yeah. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Penguins free agency opened Wednesday. Boy, were fans mad, Harry. The Penguins sat on their hands a lot. And I know as a fan, you want to see your team go out and sign the biggest player. But listen, guys, Penguins didn't have a lot of cap space. And honestly, the contracts some of these guys were getting were stupid.
That's free agency for you.
I mean, here's the thing about fans and guys. I understand everyone likes to see the big name and you love it when it happens. But you know what happens 3 years later? The fans, they're complaining. Why did the GM sign him to that stupid contract? Now we can't get rid of him. Rutherford would have. Guys, I know you wanted Hextall to make a move, but you don't want to get stuck. I mean, the reason we're in cap trouble now is because Rutherford went out and signed guys like Jack Johnson to stupid contracts. Like Jack Johnson was barely a sixth defenseman and he's making top 4 money.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah. It's very easy to handicap yourself for a long time.
It is. Like, you don't want that. I know it doesn't look good. I know when you see all these teams signing this guy, you're like, what are we doing? But it's going to be, and the moves they did make, I think are really good moves. So a few I'm going to talk about. The biggest name was Brock McGinn from Carolina. He's a forward, bottom 6 forward. I watch a lot of Carolina, so I'm familiar with him. He's a good player. People were comparing him a lot to Brandon Tanev. I would say in a role capacity, yes, that would be his comparison. I don't think he's exactly plays like Brandon Tanev, but he's a hard line player. He can put up 12 to 15 goals, maybe more if in the right situation, playing with Jeff Carter, or you could move him up the lineup with injury. That's a good player, guys. And they got him at a really good price too. So that's a contract you feel like in the past where Jim Rutherford would have got that player, but paid him way too much money. Hextall got him at a really good price. Another guy, Danton Hennon, similar player. He's a bottom 6 player. He plays a rough game. He can put up some points. So with those two guys, and they brought back Dominic Simone, who we're familiar with in Pittsburgh. Dominic Simone, I've never been a huge fan of his. A lot of Pittsburgh players like him. My beef with Dominic Simone is he plays a skilled game, but he's not talented enough to play in the top 6 in the NHL, even though the coaches keep trying to force him into that role. So his game style fits a top 6, but his talent doesn't. And so he fits in a bottom 6 role, but his style doesn't fit there, which is why I've always been kind of, I never really thought he fit, but he's back. So that's depth. All the other signings were some small moves. One interesting signing, goalie Philip Lindbergh. He's not playing next year, guys. He's a good prospect, but he's a really good prospect. He's put up great numbers in college, like really good numbers. He's, I think, 21 or 22 years old. So that could be a guy we see in a few years. It doesn't look like we're getting another goalie. There's still the possibility of a trade, but from Hextall's press conference, it seems like he's perfectly happy with starting the season with Jari and DeSmith at goal. So that's what it does. We got some good depth. I like McGinn. I like Hennon. We got a good goalie prospect. Simone's back. I guess that could be okay as long as Sullivan doesn't try to force him into the top 6 again. Yeah. So the only other thing I would look at, but I don't think it's out there, is if you. I feel like the D's kind of light right now. So I don't know.
What do you think of Philip Lindbergh?
I think he's a good prospect. He's put up really good college numbers.
Yeah.
I think his goals against, again, I don't have the numbers in front of me like right now, but
yeah, he had like the highest in the NCAA.
Yeah, he was the highest last year, and I think I was looking at his stats the other day, and it doesn't look like he's ever had a season over like 1 point. He's never had a season over 2 goals against the game average. So he puts up really good numbers.
Well, hopefully he can work his way in and to get some playing time by the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll see him in Pittsburgh, barring injury. We'll definitely see him in the AHL this year. So he'll be in Wilkes-Barre. And I mean, it could be, he's a good prospect, and it could be like, you know, if Jari doesn't work out in the next year or two, this could be a guy you bring up if you decide to move on from Jari. So we'll see there. Another news that affects Penguins fans. It was announced Sunday. Fleury has decided he will, in fact, play for Chicago. So he won't retire. And saying he'll play for Chicago probably takes away any leverage Pittsburgh had at grabbing him. But it didn't sound like Hextall was interested in bringing him back, if I'm reading the press conference correctly. So if Hextall would have reached out, maybe it would have been a different situation, but I don't think he did. So Fleury will be a Chicago Blackhawk next year. How about that?
How big of a difference do you think he'll make?
I still don't think Chicago's got a very good team. They've made some good moves this year, but I don't think their team's good enough. He'll make a difference. He won the Vezina. He's still a good goaltender. Next, Harry's favorite part of the show, UFC 265, Saturday night. Harry always wants to talk about the UFC fights. This is I'm not super excited about this card.
Yeah, it lost the second biggest fight.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, she got COVID, so
yeah,
she's out. No, it's not a great card. There's some sneaky good fights in there.
Yeah, there could be some sleepers.
But
let's go through it. So the first fight of the night, we got a bantamweight bout. Song Yadong versus Casey Kenny.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go Song Yadong.
This is one of those picks. I'm going to pick it, and then as soon as the night starts, I'm going to regret it. Kenny's been really good, I feel like. I'm gonna go Yadong too.
Yadong. Okay.
Yadong. Next, we have a women's strawweight bout. Torres versus Angela Hill. I have not seen Angela Hill fight, I don't think.
I've seen her. She does some stuff with ESPN too, but
okay.
I think she's going to lose. So I'm going Torres.
Torres, I have seen fight, so I'm going with her just because I know.
Yeah.
Welterweight.
This is a good fight.
Michael Chiesa. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Chiesa.
You go the other one. Who's he fighting?
Vicente Luque.
Luque? Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. Who you got there, Harry?
I'm going Chiesa. He's been on a roll. He's getting streaky. He looks like someone that's going to. I think he has the second longest win streak in that division, behind Leon Edwards.
This is a tough one because I think Luque is really good.
Luque is good. This is a good fight.
This is a good fight. This could be a brawl. You know what? I'll go Luque just to switch it up and start our rivalry for this one. So we're the same on the first two, but this one's where we split the men from the boys. I'm going Luque. Jose Aldo versus Pedro. Yep, I'll let you say that.
That's a good fight.
Who you got there?
I'm going to go Pedro Munoz.
That's what I'm going to. Aldo's obviously a legend in the sport. He's done a lot of good things, but he's not what he used to be. His last few fights, I haven't been too impressed. So yeah, I'm going to go Pedro on that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Aldo's tough, but
it could be good, but Aldo, I think he's on the decline.
Yeah. Be a good fight. Those two fights are going to be pretty. And this one's probably the best one of the night, the main event.
Big dog Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. I think Cyril Gane is in a totally different level when it comes to striking. And Derek Lewis's only chance will be to hopefully he can catch him like he did with Curtis Blades. I'll go Gane. I think a lot of people think he's next in line.
As much as I want to, I can't in good confidence pick against Derek Lewis.
You can't pick against him?
No. My man is a beast.
Yeah. He's the most fun guy.
He is one of the most fun guys in the UFC. I think he's tricky. I think he could pull out some few good shots. So until I see otherwise, I'm going to go with Derek Lewis for the heavyweight bout, the main event.
I want Lewis to win. I don't think he will, but
he's got the experience.
Yeah, I mean, he's good, but he's just they are very different levels.
I don't know. I think Derek Lewis I think he's looked more in shape his past few fights. I think he started to take it a little more seriously. He kind of fell off there for a little bit, but I think the past few fights I've seen, he's looked like he's taken things more seriously and he's improved. So
I agree.
I'm going to go with D-Lew on this one.
And I think he's going to have, I think one thing that plays to his advantage is I don't think Cyril Gane's going to finish him early, which will give Lewis more opportunity to maybe land the hit that can take him out. So
and one thing that's tricky about Lewis too, he has really good cardio. I feel like I don't feel like he gets as tired as he should in fights, and he's good at pacing himself. You'll see him fizzle out early in a round or maybe in the second round, but the next round he comes back and he surprises guys with his energy. So
yeah, he's somebody I would take those odds. He's plus 270. I'd put some money down on him for that fight. Could happen, but
you make any predictions for the round, or is there a knockout? Does it go to distance?
I think Gane will finish him in the fourth.
In the fourth? I'm taking Derek Lewis early. I think Derek Lewis first round.
First round?
Yeah. Because like you said, I think Gane, he's good at striking, and I think he's good. So if it goes the distance, I think his advantage. But I think if Derek Lewis can catch him with a tricky one early, that's his best shot there. So I think he can play him early, play his experience, maybe catch him with one and put him out.
Yeah.
That's UFC 265, right? Yeah, 265.
Don't worry. There's a lot of good cards coming for the rest of the year.
There is. September next year or next month.
They just booked Covington and Usman for November.
That one looks good.
Chandler and
Gaethje and Chandler.
Same card.
Yep.
It's gonna be a really good one. There's good fights. Sterling and Jan are gonna be fighting again later.
Yep.
Adesanya and Whitaker in December. So yeah, this is probably the weakest card of the year, but
I'm looking at 266. It's not super big unless they add something, but you got Nick Diaz making a comeback. Valentina.
Yeah, no. I mean, that one's not great, but after that is when they start. Yeah,
definitely. Really you got some big fights coming up, and I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of everything we talked about today, really. It's H&J Talk Sports, man, the #1 new podcast for your favorite teams, Penguins, Steelers, and WVU. We got 100 subscribers a month ago till football season. Harry, how much do you think we can pile up by foot? Let's make predictions. What do you think we can hit by football season? September 9th.
By football season? We have, 5 weeks? Let's see. Let's give a good prediction. We're at 104 right now.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's try to get to 150 by football season.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Screw you, man. I thought I was going to be cocky and say 150. I'm going to be cocky
earlier.
And say,
we weren't going to put a goal, so you caught me by surprise.
That's all right. That's what I do. I make the real predictions by catching you by surprise. 150, guys. Let's get 150 by football season. If we can get more, let's get more. Hey, if you follow us on YouTube and you don't know, we're also on social media. You can go over to Instagram and Twitter, H&J Talk Sports. Follow us on there. Talk to us during games. Talk to us with breaking news on Twitter. Also, I don't mention this a lot. We are a podcast. If you would prefer to listen to us than look at our beautiful faces, which I don't care either way, you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting platform. So go over there, subscribe to H&J Talk Sports, and listen to us every week. Also, secret, the listening podcasts come out a little bit earlier than the YouTube ones do. So you can get an advanced copy of the show.
But come to the YouTube still.
Still come to YouTube because we're trying to get the subscribers up. We want to get to 150. So come subscribe to YouTube. 150 by football.
Spread the word.
We got 150. I can't believe we're at over 100 already. You guys are killing it, man.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff coming for football season. So.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Don't worry.
Pre-game shows. We might have to get hammered for football. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we had to wait for a long time for football season. So
we did.
It's coming.
That's our show, guys. And We will see you next Monday on H&J Talk Sports.
See you guys.